Welcome to The Explainer. The 2026 World Cup is shaping up to be an absolute thriller, and based on the source material, we are literally watching a historic collision unfold. On one side, we have the massive, established favorites, the absolute Goliaths of world football. And on the other, a hungry pack of dangerous underdogs who are actively rewriting the rules of the tournament. The knockout stages are officially in full swing, and as we look at the remaining field, the stage is set for some of the most dramatic upsets we've ever seen.
I mean, just think about the sheer chaos we've witnessed so far. Traditional giants, they're already packing their bags. Germany knocked out by Paraguay in a penalty shootout. The Netherlands sent home by Morocco, also on penalties. No way, right? These shocking early exits prove that in this massive new 48-team format, your legacy doesn't keep you safe. So the ultimate question is, who is actually going to conquer this grueling tournament? Will the heavyweights restore order, or are we about to witness an unprecedented underdog story? Well, to figure that out, we really need to look at the data.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the supercomputer favorites, the Goliaths of 2026.
So, the Opta supercomputer has mapped out who's most likely to lift that trophy in New Jersey on July 19th, and wow, the numbers are staggering. The supercomputer heavily favors France, giving them a massive 29.5% chance of winning the whole shebang. Defending champ Argentina sits at about 14.4%. Spain and Brazil follow with 13.1% and 9%. But here's the piece of the pie you really need to pay attention to, the rest of the field at nearly 34%. That literally means the collective chance of an outsider winning is higher than any single nation, well, except for France.
Now, you might be wondering, why is Argentina sitting pretty with nearly a 15% chance to repeat their 2022 success? Well, it essentially comes down to one man playing like he's defying time itself. As Opta analysts point out, Lionel Messi has been in absolutely sublime form. We're talking 6 goals in the group stage alone, including that brilliant hat-trick against Algeria. He's basically single-handedly driving the mathematical probability for Argentina, proving that individual genius is still, without a doubt, the most powerful metric in football.
But then we have France. If Argentina relies on a singular maestro, France is a two-headed monster. Their run has been completely flawless, sweeping Senegal, Iraq, Norway, and then Sweden in the round of 32. And the driving force behind it all? Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembélé. They've got 4 goals each. I mean, that devastating pace and attacking width? It makes them the overwhelming mathematical favorite at nearly 30%. They are, for sure, the ultimate Goliath of 2026.
All right, let's shift gears to Section 2, Rise of the Dark Horses, the Davids of 2026.
So the crucial point here is understanding exactly why these dark horses are more dangerous this year than ever before. And honestly, it all comes down to the math of the new 48-team format. In the old 32-team setup, an underdog had to play basically perfectly to survive a brutal group stage. But now, finishing third in your group is often enough to sneak through. Plus, throwing the round of 32 into the mix means dark horses have a wider entry point to knockout football. They don't just slam into an elite giant right out of the gate. Analysts actually note this mathematically doubles an underdog's chance of reaching the quarterfinals. The structure itself is literally breeding chaos.
Let's quickly run through some of the most dangerous outsiders leveraging this new format. First up, Norway. They're at their first World Cup since 1998, and they've got the ultimate weapon in Erling Haaland. Then there's Morocco. Look, they aren't a surprise anymore. They're the returning 2022 semifinalists with a seriously battle-tested tactical core. Next is Egypt. This is Mohamed Salah's first and probably last World Cup, which gives them this massive emotional boost. And finally, the USA. Playing on home soil under Mauricio Pochettino's high-press system, they've got that massive home crowd energy behind them. Honestly, any one of these teams has the narrative and the raw talent to completely derail a giant.
But we have to talk about the grim reality of tournament football. Section 3. The injury factor. The unpredictable variable.
Across the remaining tournament landscape, there are exactly 16 definitively injured players right now. 16 players who are absolutely ruled out, alongside several more who are doubtful. And in a knockout scenario where a single tiny mistake sends you packing, these 16 injuries act as a highly chaotic, wildly unpredictable variable for our remaining teams. Now, what's really interesting about this injury distribution is how incredibly uneven it is. Look at Brazil. They've got 2 definitive injuries, and they are absolutely crucial ones. Attackers Rafinha and Lucas Paqueta are both out with hamstring issues. That severely blunts their offensive edge. On the flip side, look at Egypt. They're also missing 2 players, but theirs are key defenders, Mohamed Abdelmonem and Ahmed Fatouh.
The USA doesn't have confirmed outs, but they do have 2 doubtful players. This data right here, it's basically the hidden map of vulnerabilities heading into the round of 16.
Which brings us to where the data and the chaos violently collide. Section 4, Round of 16 Showdowns, Goliaths versus Dark Horses.
Let's move to the schedule and see how this builds. The timeline for these high-stakes clashes is incredibly tight. Kicking things off on July 4th, France takes on Paraguay. On July 5th, we've got a massive test for Brazil against Norway. July 6th features the host nation, the USA, taking on Belgium. And then, on July 7th, an absolute blockbuster, Argentina against Egypt. I want to highlight 2 of these matches specifically to show you exactly how a Goliath could actually fall.
All right, let's start with our first spotlight clash on July 5th. On one side, we have the Goliath, Brazil. The supercomputer gives them a solid 9% chance to win the whole thing. But as we just saw, their squad is depleted, missing Rafinha, missing Paqueta. On the other side, the dark horse, Norway. The data only gives them a 3% chance to win it all, but they are fueled by Erling Haaland, who has already smashed in 5 goals this tournament. So you've got a wounded giant facing off against arguably the most lethal striker in the world. This is a prime upset candidate for sure.
And this brilliantly illustrates the tactical nightmares waiting in our second spotlight match on July 7th. The Goliath here is Argentina, defending champs, led by Messi and his 6 goals. But look at the dark horse, Egypt. This is Mohamed Salah's last dance on the world stage, and the emotional momentum there is just massive. But here's the catch. Egypt is missing those 2 key defenders we talked about, Abdelmonem and Fatou. So how on earth do you stop an in-form Lionel Messi without your best defensive line? Actually, the tactical adjustments Egypt will have to make are going to be absolutely fascinating to watch.
So, what does this all mean as we look ahead? What we're really watching here is a fundamental battle of philosophies. On one side, you have the cold, hard logic of the Opta supercomputer, which tells us the sheer depth of France and Argentina will inevitably win out. On the other side, you've got the unpredictable chaos of injuries, the structural advantage of the new 48-team format, and the pure emotional willpower of teams like Norway and Egypt. So I'll leave you with this to chew on while you watch the matches unfold. Will the data prevail, or is a dark horse about to completely rewrite World Cup history? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and enjoy the games.